heard it online and you think there's no rival? You want it for your collection, but have you heard it on vinyl? Hello and welcome to But Have You Heard It on Vinyl with myself, Simon, and over there is Danny. Hello, Danny.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a better week. It's bright. What I will say is I've been shopping this morning, and I should have known shopping in town on a Saturday, mental. I could lose my shit and go on about it. I'm not gonna, but yeah, it was a little bit mental. So that was a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I work near the centre of town, so half the time I can just nip in and out in the week when it's not too busy, and I ain't got to ever venture too close at the weekends. You have to build up to that, I find now, especially with kids.
Yeah. You good?
I'm all right. This week has been a tough one. I think everybody in the family's had a bit of a shit week, if I'm honest. I think like my daughter's had some issues at school. My wife is a social worker, and I think she's just had a dark week.
Dark week.
Yeah, so she's struggled. I've just had a tough week. So I'm really looking forward to this, I think. I do enjoy the podcast record. Picks me up, have a bit of a laugh, and I think because of it, I've really delved into music this week just to kind of keep my mental health good with just positivity of music. So yeah, I've had a banging week with music, I think.
I promise to be an extra 20% more awesome this week to cheer you.
You're always awesome. Right. All right. Well, this week we will be talking about our buys and listens and what we've been listening to recently. The feature we've decided to go and have basically a part 2 of the last episode where we talked about EPs, and there is a crossover into mini albums. So we thought we were just going to go through some of our mini albums that both of us really enjoyed.
Yeah, it's a good one because there was a few we couldn't pick up on because they weren't quite technically EPs, but through digging out through our collections, it's a bit like, this is great, that's great. So, yeah, it'll be good to talk about that.
Yeah, and then lastly, there was so much stuff that we couldn't fit into the last podcast, which is now we're going to throw into this one of what's coming out. It's picking up very quickly, which is exciting. So, anyway, let's jump straight into it. Oh, and the vinyl alphabet, which is our final one of the alphabet this time, and it's Z, or Z if you're fucking American.
Fucking American.
We actually have quite a few listeners in America, so sorry. Anyway.
And then God's striking you down with a cough.
No, fucking hell. All right, well, look, I will jump into mine. I'm going to lump quite a lot of mine together. I was talking on the last one that I got very much into my streaming because I was so busy. And then finally, all the vinyl that I was streaming has turned up. And I even managed to purchase a Grail this last week, which very much cheered me up. So I'll get into those. Well, I'll jump into the Grails first. Well, the Grail. We were talking about the Helicopters. Their first album, Super Shitty to the Max. I remember struggling to get that on CD years ago. And the vinyl, I've never seen out in the open. Every time I've tried to look for it, it's non-existent. I think there was another one that they released back in 1995, quite a few limited pressings. I think there was another pressing at one point in the 2000s. And I haven't ever seen it out in the wild. It's not something you normally get. Every time I look on eBay and other places, it's well into the hundreds, maybe more. But I think Universal in 2017, by the looks of it, did their first album and their second album as picture discs. I've looked at them occasionally, but again, they're really expensive, and I just stumbled across on Discogs for a normal price for a vinyl. Someone had it, mint. So I jumped straight on and just thought I'm just going to pull the trigger before it goes like normal when I want to punch something. Yeah. So I got them, and they both turned up today. So I got, not today, the other day. So I got Super Shitty to the Max, and also Paying the Dues, which is their second one. Super Shitty to the Max, I absolutely love this album. It was probably the first one I ever heard by them. It is dirty, disgusting, just...
Super shitty.
Super shitty. Basically, they recorded the whole album, I think, plus a few B-sides in one 26-hour session where they even mixed it in that one. So...
Shit.
From what I've been told, it was Jay just rolled up, smashed it out in record time. I think they literally just put mics in front. You can hear it. Things are distorted. There's mistakes. They're just hammering through. I think once they got one good take, that's it. Done. On to the next one. So it's rock and roll in its purest. sounds nothing like their later stuff, but I just love it. Like, Gotta Get Some Action Now is just a tune and a half. Just love it. So it's just one of those ones, like, there's no thrills to it. It is what it is. And no, it's lovely to get it in the collection. So I was so happy with this one. I'm not a big fan of pitch discs, but this one sounds great. Yeah. And yeah, it comes with a big poster. I found the CD out as well, and I was having a look at it. And basically, I'm guessing whoever the White Jazz record label is, they're not a big fan of CDs, because they actually have inside the CD a whole page essay on why CDs sound like shit and you should buy vinyl.
Excellent.
Inside the CD that you just bought, going, I think you've been cheated. Basically, this sounds like crap. You want the vinyl. And they also miss a song off on the CD, which you do not get on vinyl. And it says there, only on vinyl, and they scrub it out. So
that's usually the way round.
No, so these guys are very much want you to buy it on vinyl. So I got that one, which is absolutely brilliant, and paying the dues is exactly the same. Picture disc, and you get an extra track on it as well, which is brilliant. So very happy with both of those. And that one as well was both of them completely mint, still sealed, just over 30 quid. So I cannot complain, considering I was been following one on eBay for about 120.
Jesus.
I don't know what this bloke was doing, but thank you very much for selling it at a reasonable price and not rinsing us. So they were brilliant. They really cheered me up this week, and I've had them on. Yeah, because they're not on streaming. So apart from, unless I can put the files on my iPod or something, I'm never going to really listen to them. So now I've got on vinyl, because my CD player died years ago. So I've either been streaming on vinyl, really.
Oh, you don't play CDs?
I have CDs, I just can't play them.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, my CD player died a couple of years ago, and I've just never replaced it. So I'm purely streaming on vinyl. So the fact I got this one now, I've just been banging it out, loving every minute of it. And then basically the Helicopters then bleed into my second thing I've been playing. And I said last week, or last episode, I've been streaming a lot, which was the offshoot band from the Helicopters. So basically when Nick called a time on it for the first wave of the Helicopters, he basically went off and did a band which sounds like the Helicopters. But a very much more condensed version, short songs, more poppy. I think his love of Kiss is huge, and it really shows on these albums. They're just short, like, they're just good time rock and roll songs, bit fun.
Okay.
Like, the lyrics are a lot more, they're not as serious as the Helicopters, they're a lot more straightforward. I think he basically must, in my mind, I think he kind of thinks of a chorus and then works out the verse afterwards. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like that. I've got a catchy chorus, what's it going to be about, and then I'll make a verse up. So I wouldn't read too much to any of the lyrics, but they're just brilliant. Like, I've got all four of their first four albums. The first one is purely just him, all on his own. He plays bass, drums, and everything. And I think it was meant to be a solo album that, in the end, he just incorporated people from another band that he was playing in, just to make Imperial State Electric. They're great. I think they lasted from about 2008 to 2016, when I think he just went full time with the Helicopters again. The bassist from this band is also the bassist in the Helicopters.
A pretty cool career then, really.
Yeah, but they did in 8 years. They did 5 albums and a live album. 2 live albums. So they were putting something out every year and a bit, just as productive as Helicopters again.
That Helicopters collection's growing, isn't it?
It is. Sadly, I've got to the point now of the stuff that I'm missing is the really expensive stuff. High Visibility, which is one of their like breakthrough albums, that came up on the eBay the other day. It started at 16, and I checked in about 3 hours later, and it was up to 150, and it just kept going, and I just went, yeah, I'm good. So I'm hoping that those are ones which will be coming with Nuclear Blast at one point. I'm happy to wait.
You would hope so. I mean, they've been doing a good job of it, haven't they?
Yeah, so wait and see. But yeah, no, Imperial State Electric, they're one of the ones I've had to end up I bought all of them in the end through Railwaves, because I've never seen them in record stores. I think they're mainly just distributed out in Europe and Sweden and stuff. I don't think they've even... I could be wrong. I don't think they've ever even played in the UK.
Railwaves is an odd one, because I've had a few things from them, and I'm not entirely sure or convinced who or what they are, because they seem to get a lot of stuff cheap. There's generally no shipping.
Yeah,
and they come quick. So it's like, I don't kind of get it. I mean, I'm not moaning, but it's weird.
All 4 of these, I think, were about 17 each. They weren't much. So, it was easy to just go, I'll just grab all of them because they're there. Do you know what I mean? He said free shipping. But all of them, I said, they're just good. If you like the Helicopters and you like just some straight rock and roll, you can't really go wrong. They're really catchy. think most of the songs are about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. He doesn't beat around the bush with them. Every album's about 30 minutes long, and yeah, just shows his love of Kiss, I think, quite heavily.
Just a blast.
Yeah, so they're really good, and I think for a week when I was struggling and other people were struggling, I've had them on a lot. My missus, my kids, they've all been dancing and singing along to them because they're hard not to. They're just catchy. They're proper earworms every song, so I've really, really enjoyed that, and they've really kind of helped bring the week along. So I'm really, really happy that I got hold of those. Because as I said, I've only ever had them streaming. I've never even had those on CD. So I was really happy to just get hold of those. That was a good one.
And the whole family loved it?
Yeah. It's, my kids are very, very... They've got their own little things that they like. My daughter's a bit of a Swiftie at times. Mikey he just likes everything. He'll one day he's singing Elton John, the next day he's singing Queen, then he starts singing some poppy stuff I've never heard. I play this once in the car and he'll be singing one of these songs back to you straight away. Go, no, keep it down again, that's brilliant. I even went to my daughter's concert on Friday where she sang I'm Still Standing by Elton John.
Okay.
I did try to get her to do a stage dive, but she wouldn't do it.
Do it, come on!
Yeah, come on, smash the guitar,
promise. Promise.
Flip the head teacher of the bird. Come on, do something.
Rock and roll.
So,
whose child is that?
No, it was good fun. So yeah, no, I like the fact our house is always filled with music, and the kids, yeah, they love all this sort of stuff. And then lastly, I had a bit of a nostalgia album, and I pulled out The Prodigy, which I've not listened to for ages. Music for the Jilted Generation, which was just a huge album for me back in, what was it, 94? Yeah, 94 it came out. I just remember it was one of those, probably one of the first more electronic type albums. I remember Orbital and stuff when I was younger, but The Prodigy, I think I got into them because I think someone brought in the Firestarter EP single came out quite a while before the album.
Yeah. No, it was a good one. It was a good 12 months.
Yeah, and I think I heard that, and then someone else started playing the Music for the Jilted Generation album, and then I just got obsessed with it. I think me and a friend of mine, I think we listened to it nearly almost every day on the bus going to school. Listening to it now, I think it's such a solid album to an extent, but it is very, very overlong, I find. 78 minutes.
It is a long album, and some songs kind of outstay the welcome a little bit, but I played it, it's probably been a couple of years ago now, and I still, like you, it was still a blast. I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did feel that could have been edited a little bit. But, you know, these were kind of pioneers of the scene. So it started somewhere. It started with that.
But yeah, it was, because I think, like, this showed a little bit was where they were coming, like... The fact that they kind of they came across as a band, even though even at this point it was pretty much just Liam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Maxim had a little bit of a... I think he had something to do with Poison, didn't he? But then I just remember this one so much. I remember the videos. I think I remember buying the VHS of Electronic Punks, I want to say it was, which was all the videos.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
All the videos for this one, and you could see they'd introduced a live guitarist.
It was controversial.
Jim Davis.
Was it Gisbutt?
No, this was before him. It was Jim Davis, who was the guitarist from Pitch Shifter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jizz didn't turn up until Fat of the Land.
Okay. Is it Jizz or Giz? Let's say Giz. Sounds better than Jizz.
I would say Giz, yeah. Gizz. Anyway, originally it was Jim Davis who did the guitars on Fat of the Land and stuff. But I just remember they were... getting traction really, really quickly, because they kind of, from Breaking the Law, which was like just such a huge song, like, and then live I kind of saw there's like the guitars going on, and they were just heavier than everyone else around. And then I think even by this point Kerrang started adding them, and Rock Magazine started already kind of putting them in, which was precursor to them really needing or wanting to be in there. But people were like going, this is the future of heavy music.
I remember it at the time. They started to sort of appear in Kerrang, and all these rock fans were like, oh, what's going on? Well, what's this? And Morat's going, it's all right. They've got a guitar, it's fine. But we really had to be, you know, the rock community really had to be eased into it. It seems insane now that everything's just everywhere. Everything's just one big culture. Yeah. But, you know, it was shocking.
It was a little bit like, if you listen to this one,
they're not punk. They haven't even got a guitar. They haven't even got a drummer.
Well, no, they haven't. Like they have. They're very much dance songs. Like No Good Start the Dance was just a dance anthem. But then
the album version absolutely kills me. I love that so much.
It is, and then there's just so many other ones like Voodoo People, Poison. I remember the video for that on the telly, and they're just cool. But then like it kind of gets to the end where it sort of goes a bit weird with like 3 Kilos and like that sort of more jazzy type thing with the flutes and stuff.
You know, I really do like 3 Kilos. That's a great song. But yeah, there's a couple more after that. It's a bit like it's dragged on a bit now.
Yeah, I think it's the end bit. Like 3 Kilos, I always really, really enjoyed. And then, as you said, I don't know if it's Skyline or the last one. It just goes on just a bit too long. Full Throttle, I think, on one of the earlier ones. I was just reading some notes about. I think Liam himself said if he'd go back in time, he would probably take One Love off, which was a single before.
Yeah,
and just leave it as a standalone and take off Full Throttle. And he said, yeah, I think it'd be a bit more of a condensed, better album. But
yeah, okay.
It was just huge. It was just one. Like the front cover is so striking, and this is. I bought this only.
It's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, I think is it metal or something or plastic? I'm not sure what he's sticking.
I think it's a metal sculpture.
It was just really big. I think like the jump from Experience to this, where it was a little bit more poppy, ravey, bit silly with Charlie and stuff like that, to this one, it became such a serious album.
What's shocking about it now? I mean, that album is now 32 years old.
Yeah.
And that to me is still dance music. If I put dance music on, it's that.
Mm.
So, and when you think about it, we're as far, even though that feels very current to me, because it's something I still listen to, if you think about it, we're as far away from that now as that album was from pre-Beatles.
It was. It really defined a generation at the time. Like, kind of just came out a little bit of the rave culture. Said they started doing more of the rock and the dance festival clubs. I think they went and played the Phoenix Festival and just blew everybody away because they were starting to incorporate what was getting into Fat of the Land. Sadly, like they had such a I like Experience. They had a real big jump to this one, a real huge jump to Fat of the Land, which I love that album. That one really kind of defined like the end of my school life. That was like 97 it came out and I was just finishing up, and amazing. I saw them about 2 or 3 times on that tour, and everybody at my school just loved that album. And then sadly I found they just stagnated for years and years and years.
They did,
because they just kind of were just repeating Fat of the Land but not as good. It wasn't till I think Invaders Must Die I quite enjoyed that one because it had a little bit some new flavours in.
I always found them afterwards. They did one standalone single called Girls, which I thought was fantastic. I thought that was a brilliant song. And then everything else since, I just find it's just generic Prodigy. And live, we might have discussed this before, but when I see them live, it's just too in your face, too much, and I don't enjoy it. It's too brash.
They've taken what they've done to the extreme now, because I think now they've got the guitarist, the bassist, the drummer, and sadly they're without Keith as the central point. Like it does, I think they kind of want to be 9 Inch Nails, but not be 9 Inch Nails. Do you know what I mean? The way that they look and stuff, they've all got that sort of dirty, ripped look, and
yeah, but they haven't got any of the kind of intricacies of that sort of music. It's just full on in your face for like over an hour.
Yeah.
I just find it too much. But you know, those initial albums, absolutely fantastic. Can't fault them.
No. So music for the generation was a real nice one to put on. I was more than happy. Didn't feel like an old fart listening to it. I was just like, oh yeah, this is music, kids. Come on, come over here.
This is it. Come and sit with your dad.
Yeah, come and listen. This is the Prodigy. But so that was really good. I said I was very, very happy. So I had like a little nostalgia moment with the Prodigy. So that's what I've been playing basically. How about yourself?
I've headed to Manchester for most of the week.
Okay.
Number one, the new Morrissey album.
Oh, I thought you actually went to Manchester. I was like, that's not like you.
No, just musically. I was going to say, I don't move within a mile of my house, you know, man.
Oh, bugger. Do you know what I was going to do? I was going to say the first thing I was listening to this week was Dylan, just to go and see what your reaction was, and then to tell you I wasn't. I forgot.
Oh. That's disappointing.
Anyway, Morrissey.
Morrissey, it's finally here. Makeup is a Lie, the new album. I picked up the indie exclusive ruby red version, which is, I just expected red, blanket red. It's actually really sort of maroony and swirly. It's really nice, and he's on Sire again now, so it's got that nice yellow swirly Sire label. So.
Oh, okay. So he's on a major again then. I'd somehow just thought...
He's on a major again?
I thought he was just trying to put it out with whoever.
Because they were on a major in the 80s. They were on Sire. I don't know what's happened in between. He's been on all sorts in between. Yeah, so this. Okay. I've heard 3 songs already, the singles. And I've really enjoyed them. And everybody I've spoke to has gone, oh, God, that's fucking shit. No, it's really not. It's great. I
might have said that.
Yeah. Oh, everybody else. Everybody. There's one other YouTube channel I watch, Gav Axman Spins, where he's done a review and he's raving about it. And I'm sitting there going, yes, it's not just me. It's a great album. And it really is a great album. It's what you'd expect from Morrissey. There's nothing like, oh my God, he's gone in this direction, that direction. It's Morrissey. You know what you're going to get. And it's the quality of the songs. There's a lot of... Initially, I'll be honest, I wasn't over keen on the sound. It's kind of away from the guitar-driven sort of thing. There's a lot more sort of beats and things.
Okay.
Strings and stuff. And initially, it felt a bit... His voice kind of felt like it sat on top of everything a bit too much. I'd listened to it a couple of times, and I had it on again midweek, and it just clicked. It does. It sounds great. So I've convinced myself it sounds great, and it's just a really enjoyable album. You've got some epic ones like Many Icebergs Ago. The Monsters of Pig Alley, which is one of the singles, absolutely brilliant. One of the best things he's done in years. There's a couple of shorter, poppier ones. Zoom Zoom, the Little Boy, which is a bit twee, but it's Morrissey twee. You can live with it. Some great lyrics on here as per usual. He's still got his voice is still amazing at his age. He's still got that sort of hiccupy kind of thing that goes on occasionally that he does from, when his voice just croaks. He does that a couple of times. I've not heard him do that for a while. Yeah, no, I'm really, really pleased with it. I think it's a brilliant album, and I'm disappointed that a lot of the music press just have that vendetta against him. I mean, he doesn't help himself, let's be honest. But they've got a vendetta against him, so they're not reviewing the album, they're not covering him, they don't... Oh, Morrissey's got no, okay, fine, we're going to make a point of not reviewing it or talking about it, and it just makes him look a bit dickish, because whether you like it or not, he's whatever his politics are, all this sort of stuff, he's still a British icon, and he's one of the great, true legends of the British music scene, and still making fantastic music, so fuck those people. Brilliant album.
So how long's it been? How long's it been between albums then?
6 years, I think. I didn't hear the last one, to be honest. I'm Not a Dog on a Chain. And again, I hear good things about that. And I'll be honest, I haven't got every Morrissey album. I'm probably missing about 4, I think, off the top of my head. But there's not a bad Morrissey album. There are albums much better than others. And, I saw something recently, somebody really ranked, I think it was Gav again, really ranked Kill Uncle, his second solo album, really low. Last, I think, in his rankings. And I was like, it's Kill Uncle, man, it's brilliant. But then all the stuff on top of it, you're like, okay, it's got to go somewhere. It's not... these albums are just better, but that, Kill Uncle's still a great album. And this is another great one.
Has he still got his guitarist? Is it Tobias on it? Is that still his collaborator?
He has. He has. I think Boz Bora is still the musical arranger. I might be wrong about that. I've not really read the liner notes or anything,
that Tobias bloke, wasn't he originally stepped in for the Chili Peppers?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure when what's his name? When
John left.
When John left, and before Dave joined.
Oh, in the 90s, in the early 90s.
They had a guitar.
Oh, okay.
It's either going to be him or it was Faith No More. No, it must be. It was him. He played with the Chili Peppers for a couple of years, for like a year or so, I think.
Okay.
But then he obviously found a better job.
I mean, any job's better than that, to be fair. I shouldn't say that. I did love the Chili Peppers at one point. Yeah. You're not going very far with them, are you? Anyway, staying in Manchester, and I'm probably boring people now repeating myself, but I'm on a real fall kick at the minute. And this is an album that I've had... I downloaded it on iTunes. God, it must have been about 15 or 16 years ago, something like that. So I know it very well, but I've never had the vinyl. Hex Induction Hour.
Yep.
Because I've been listening to it so much and it's just clicked again at another level, it always just surprises me with this album. I absolutely love it. So I've picked up the reissue on translucent green. There was a splatter sort of white and green version, which was a 3-disc version with loads of extra stuff. Cherry Red have been re-releasing all their stuff. But then recently they've just done the 2-disc version, which is just the album proper on our clear green. And I kind of prefer this, to be fair. Well, number one, it was a lot cheaper than the splatter one because that's shot up. But yeah, this is just the album, and it's just such a fantastic album. I could quote lyrics all day long off this. It's Mark E. Smith at his best, and you know, Steve Hanley's he's the saviour on this. But the bass on this is just phenomenal. He's just such a recognisable bassist. In a band of mavericks, he just really sticks out. And then you've got Mark doing his stuff, and when Mark's on form, you know, the Fall are on form. So that's been played a lot the last week or so.
Is that Mark Riley era, or was that after?
It was after, I think. Oh no, tell a lie, he's on here.
Oh, okay.
I think Mark Riley left after this one, I want to say. I'm actually reading Steve Hanley's book at the minute. That's quite funny, to be fair. Mark Riley was in there a lot longer than I thought he was. I think it was maybe after this album he left. There was they did another album very quickly after this, which I've not heard, and then they did. I might be getting my chronology wrong, but I think then they did Perverted by Language, and I don't think Riley's on that because I think that's Brix's first.
Okay.
No, I assume you're familiar with this one. I think you're more of a Latter Day Fall fan, aren't you?
I am, but I own all their albums on CD, so
okay.
Which one is one of my favourite things by them is the BBC box set of all the Peel sessions.
Oh, yeah.
That is phenomenal.
That's the thing. There's so many. They did so much stuff. It's hard to pick an album, you know, and that's why whenever I do have a Fall phase, I'll literally listen to one or two because otherwise you just get sucked into it. And you can't get any context from everything you're listening to. It's just a blur. So it's nice to pull out and recognise an album for its merits rather than the era. Do you know what I mean?
No. I know what you mean. I have albums from different periods. Like I'm a huge fan of Witch's Hour. What's it called, the first one?
Oh yeah, I love Witch Trials.
Yeah, that one. I love that album. I think it's great.
Yeah.
So it just,
and again, that's another one that's been reissued, and it's got like 1 million bonus tracks on it. Whereas I'm kind of like, I just want the album as is. So I might try and find a original pressing at some point, but you know, these original pressings are quite expensive.
Yeah, cool.
But we shall see. Elsewhere, I've got a couple more I just want to talk about. This just came out the blue. Rough Trade are celebrating 50 years, and in doing so, they are releasing an album for every. Let me get this right. They're releasing an album for every year that they've been going. So they're picking an album from 1982, 83, 84, etc., etc. So the album they picked for 1981, 81? Yes, is Brian Eno and David Byrne's My Life in the Bush of Ghosts.
Okay.
Which this is another one I bought the download of back when iTunes was the thing before Spotify and everything. And I absolutely loved it. I've not listened to it for a long time. And when I've come to pick it up at any point, it's been reissued with a different sleeve and, again, loads of bonus tracks and stuff. But this has been reissued on coloured vinyl, Coke bottle clear vinyl. It's very nice, with a big sticker commemorating the Rough Trade things. That's pretty cool. And it's the original artwork, and it's the original album as is, which is what I wanted. So that just came out of the blue. I didn't know this was a thing, and it's limited to 1,500 copies. So that was very much an impulse. I'm going to have that, because it wasn't cheap. But I'm really glad I got it, because I love this album. It's very much... It's of the era when Talking Heads were doing Remaining Light, and, David, and I think a couple of Talking Heads are actually on this as well as David. But it's very much David Byrne and Brian Eno's album. And it's the very much more experimental side of what they were doing with Talking Heads. I think it may be a bit too much for them, so they took that and just, we'll go away and do this ourselves then, and then this stuff we'll keep for Talking Heads.
Cool.
It's very sample heavy, very, very funky and stuff. Oh, fantastic album. Instrumental, lots of spoken word bits and things, and it is quite revered, but I don't know many people that know it.
I've never heard of it. To be honest, I still need to give Talking Heads. I don't know anything by them, but I want to really delve into them properly. I'm
a big fan. I think I'm only missing one or two of theirs, but yeah. Yeah, that's a superb album. Or instrumental, like I said. But yeah, really chuffed to see that, because that's just it's not often something just jumps out at me and I immediately just go because normally I overthink things and spend hours and hours trying to find a cheaper one and then eventually just forget about it. So that was very much an impulse thing.
Cool.
And lastly, the other thing I've been listening to, just out of the blue, like yourself with The Prodigy from the collection, is Pink Flag by Wire.
Never heard it. Everyone's told me I would absolutely love it.
Well, these got reissued. The thing is with Wire, it's the first 3 albums are just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Then they went right up their own arse for decades, splitting up, getting back together and all this sort of stuff. And then from what I gather, the last sort of 10, 15 years, they're back to being good. In fact, to be fair, I've got their last album, which was good. But these first 3, Pink Flag being the first album, when they re-released them, I thought, well, I've got to buy these because they're sort of seminal. People talk about them, so I bought them, and I liked them, but didn't quite click. Do you know what I mean? So occasionally I'll come back to it, and this time I've pulled it out because I've been listening to, indie. The Fall and all that sort of stuff. So this jumped out at me. I thought I'd give this another listen. I've been streaming it like fuck at work and coming home and dug my vinyl out and playing it. I absolutely love this album. It just works so well. And I'm getting now why it's so seminal. And I'm trying to sell it to you now, because if other people have told you about it, then you need to try it. Because
is
for
it
how
punk
old it
or is it not punk? What is it?
It's sort of like intelligent punk, I would say.
Right.
It's very punky sort of vocals, but not spitting out the usual crap. Very thoughtful, and the songs are all they veer from sort of like 30 seconds to 4 minutes,
right? But
they don't feel like blink and miss it. They all serve a purpose. So the whole album, I mean, it's only like 38 minutes long, 40 minutes long,
right?
It just works so well. And then there's a few riffs, 3 Girl Rumba you'll know immediately because Elastica just completely rips it off. And there's a couple of singles on here, and it's just odd. There's nothing else like this. It's lumped in with punk, but it's not really. And this is the band that Gang of Four looked to, that Minutemen looked to, that Minor Threat looked to. Well, we can say everything we want to say in a few seconds, or we can stretch it out to 3-4 minutes. And they don't rush. It's not like it's like Husker Du when they got a 30-second song. It's like blah, 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 and it's done. It's not like that at all. You might get a verse and a chorus and it just stops abruptly and then into another song. So it you just need to try it, mate.
Okay. I've been meaning to, so I'll put it on a list where I'm not gonna go, oh yeah, and then just fucking ignore it and get on with my life.
It might take a few goes because it's not what you'd expect, I guess. I know you're the punk guy in this duo. You're the punk guy, so while I wouldn't strictly say it is punk, it is of the era.
No, that's fair.
And it kind of fits it to a certain extent, but it's very forward thinking, and there's a reason it's so.
It's within the genre, but not necessarily your usual.
No, it's very clever. Cool. Very clever. And this sort of like you can't think. Where have they got this from? It's not influenced by anything really. It's kind of, I don't know what it is, but whatever they did, that first 3 albums are just utter gold dust, and then they seemingly lost it for decades.
Okay, wicked.
There you go. Excellent album.
Wonderful. Well, that's all our listens. It's time for this.
It's the vinyl alphabet.
And this week's letter is the letter Z. What Z have you got?
Well, I've told you already, and I'm going to be controversial because I don't have any Zs on vinyl.
I remember this one.
Shocking.
I smashed some stuff up. I went around ranting and raving.
Yeah, so I've got to go to the small print of the podcast, which says very well under the title, we're not strictly a vinyl podcast. We do listen to other formats. ...
Anyone wants to write in and comment and call him a fuckwit, then you can do.
So, Dweezil Zappa, Return of the Son of. Let's talk very briefly about Frank Zappa. Are you a fan? Have you tried?
I have tried some of his stuff. I've never bought anything. I had an old flatmate who had quite a lot of his stuff, so I have heard quite a bit. I've read his biography, which is absolutely genius.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Got a lot of time for him. I've just never really gone into it. I probably could do. I've just sort of stayed away. I don't know why.
I just feel like with Frank Zappa, it's very much, it's like the Grateful Dead. If you're a Deadhead, it's all consuming.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a Frank Zappa, I can't imagine being that engrossed with Frank Zappa and being interested in anything else, because it would satisfy absolutely every musical need you have. So it's difficult as a fan to just dip in and grab a little bit out.
I think because I used to be quite into Captain Beefheart, I kind of dipped my toe in with him because there was links, wasn't there?
Yeah. But, yeah, with my fundamental issue with Frank Zappa is... It's not him, he's so articulate, he's mesmerising to listen to and watch. It's absolutely amazing, and he's the most incredible musician. My issue is dust. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, a ridiculous, just a humongous amount of stuff. This is going to sound really prudish, but I'm not really a fan of smut.
Okay.
And smutty lyrics and that, that kind of thing he's got. So I kind of, it's hit and miss what I'm going to like. What I've discovered by listening to bits and bobs of me, I haven't even touched the surface of Frank. I've heard maybe 10 albums tops. And I like them. But what I've found is his son, Dweezil Zappa, he did a tour in the early 2000s called Zappa Plays Zappa.
Yeah, I remember it.
And it was some of Frank's old musicians, some new blood, fresh blood, and they'd have like guests on, like Steve Vai, who obviously used to play with Frank. And they just did a show of Frank music, and that was absolutely... I don't know, I must have seen it on telly or something and just been mesmerised. Loved that, and I've got the DVD of that. But I never bought the CD. And that just kind of scratched my itch with Zappa. It got all... there's a little bit of smut in there, but it's generally just sort of amazing musicianship and multi-instrumentalists and running around doing crazy things to get all the music in, and brilliant. And then a few years after that, he did this second album, which again, live, Return of the Son of, and I picked this up straight away. And this is everything I need in Frank Zappa's music. I think there's only about 11 songs on here, 14 songs I like. And you've got, it's not even like the obvious ones, there's just instrumental stuff, because as a band, they're absolutely awesome. They're to the T. They're just genius musicians. Dweezil himself is an incredible guitarist. The genes in that family, Jesus. So everything I need for Zappa is on this album, and it's not very often I play it, and it's amazing. I said to you the other day, when I put this on the other day, I really enjoyed it, but it's amazing how much it's gone from being, when I first got into Zappa, oh God, it's completely impenetrable. I don't know, there's no entry point, I don't get it, to putting it on there, just completely enjoying it and knowing all the nuances and all the different bits and that, to the point it just feels normal to me now. But to the average person listening to this, but it sounds like mental cartoon music, I should imagine, at some points. But yeah, so this is my Z. And I will mention one song on here. There's a song called Billy the Mountain, which is 30 minutes long, and it's like a play. It's like a musical play. It's satirical, it's ridiculous, it's just... it's utterly mesmerising. There's all these comedy parts in it. It's almost infantile in some places, but it's like a kid. You watch some kids' TV and you think, you've got your sort of 7-8-year-olds glued to it, and you look at it and think, what the fuck what's going on here? It's mental.
Oh yeah, kids' TV is like being on acid.
But yeah, so Billy the Mountain is just this half-hour piece about a mountain coming to life and going on holiday with his wife Ethel. And his wife Ethel is a tree that grows off of his shoulder. And they are going on holiday because they've got all their royalties from the photos that people take of them stood next to Billy the Mountain, because he's a mountain. So he's got all his royalties coming. They decide to go on holiday, and he flattens America on the way through. Mental. So this is what I mean.
Jesus Christ.
But I would highly recommend, if you're going to try Zappa, and it's so hard to get in, try a Dweezil Zappa album. Try one of these Dweezil Zappa live albums. That's perfect entry point, and I get everything I need from him.
By osmosis.
Now yours is going to seem quite normal next to this.
Mine has given me lots and lots of joy the last couple of days, because this one is 100% pure nostalgia. My dad driving me to whatever fucking stupid clubs I used to be part of when I was younger, like tennis, football. Well, I didn't do football. I hate football. Athletics and God knows what else. But in his car, he had a selection of cassettes like every single dad in the whole of the UK had. You had the best of Queen, you had the best of fucking ELO, and you had Eliminator by ZZ Top. And we pretty much swapped between these ones. I think we probably had some C90 cassettes, which he'd recorded like the 100 best tracks of, like Fluff used to do, whatever it was, greatest rock songs ever. Yeah. I remember we had that one, which had the top 20. But ZZ Top Eliminator was just one of the ones that, all right, pick a cassette. This one will go on, and it just takes me back. Straight away makes me think of my dad. Straight away makes me think about in the 80s, early 90s, him driving us around to whatever silly thing we were doing. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of ZZ Top, and I think they should have probably retired about 20 years ago. But this one album just puts a smile on my face. It's pretty much, I don't know any, apart from that Viva Las Vegas song a couple of years later, to be honest, these are all the hits that I know, really. I've never knew anything else apart from the songs on this one, because it feels like a best of as it is. Give Me All Your Lovin', Got Me Under Pressure, Sharp Just Man, TV Dinners, Legs. It's a cracking album. I love it. I absolutely love it.
It just screams 80s.
Yeah.
And that sleeve, there's not a young boy at that time that didn't see that car and thought it was cool. Because the one afterwards, was it Eliminator after with the same
Afterburner.
car, but like a Afterburner. But it's like a spaceship or something.
Yeah. So I think I bought this from HMV, God knows how long ago. But it was one of those ones where the HMV had like specialist coloured ones. This is like a yellow vinyl. Nothing special about it, but I just had to have it. I think it was only like 12 quid. It was just one of those ones. I was like, I'm getting it. Gonna have it. I remember the videos. Like, I remember as a child talking to people going, "Oh, a person without a beard is called beard," and you have all those.
Everybody. It was like a dad fact, wasn't it? Here, son, listen to this. He's not got a beard. Wow.
I know. But yeah, I remember all the videos for it, and they were just everywhere. And I think that's probably. They were still riding the cusp of it when they got like they were in the Back to the Future 3, weren't they, I think?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But this one, it's not the greatest album in the world, but it just puts a smile on it. The lyrics on some of them are fucking awful. Like I said, this is the proper 80s lyrics. I think something about Spank My Monkey. But
these are the albums that built the 80s, and like when you think of MTV,
yeah,
I don't know, you just think America and you think shopping malls and all that sort of stuff. And
yeah, because I've heard their earlier stuff like Trey Hombre and stuff, where it's real dirty like Texan blues and stuff like this. This is the one where
they got synths.
It's definitely like, no offense to Frank Beard, but I think it sounds like drum machines. Like they've got there's a producer in there. They've spent time trying to make sure it ticks all the little boxes. I adore it. I really do. It's a nostalgia one. Put it on, it just takes me back. So I've very much enjoyed it. It's the only Z I've got. Probably need to buy some more other ones. I probably wouldn't buy any other ZZ Top albums. Someone could tell me there's 20 great ones, but it's all I need from them, to be honest. It just makes me happy. I don't think there's actually a bad song on it. I've listened to the whole thing so many times. There's ones which are lesser. There's the hits, and then there's the other tracks, but it flows so well.
That's every popular album in the 80s, isn't it? Hit singles and what?
There you go. So this one, to finish off on this album, really made me happy.
So we've done. So what do we do now? Are we going to go around again? We have not discussed it, have we?
I think we were going to introduce a new segment for the next one, which was Spotlight a Shop. New shops that we've been to and spotlight them a little bit. I even wrote a jingle. Do you remember it?
Okay. Oh, you did? Oh, I've slept since then. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about this one. We can go round again, but maybe we might intersperse between the two. If we've been to a new shop.
You just want to use your shiny new jingle.
I did. I wrote a nice new jingle. It's like 8 seconds long. Don't take my jingles away from me. It's all I've got. But anyway, we will have a fight and decide what we're doing for the next one. But anyway, let's get on to the feature.
We got a feature, musical feature. Here comes our feature coming up now.
Welcome back to the show. So this time we're going to talk about mini albums for our feature. Those eagle-eyed listeners from last time would know that we did a feature on EPs, and we kind of touched on mini albums, didn't we? Because we had a lot of debates behind the scenes about, is this an EP? Can we talk about this? Shall we talk about that? And
yeah,
well, I think we kind of stuck broadly to EPs being short. It's 7 inches or 12 inches or whatever, and sort of stuck to that format for our conversation last time. But
yeah,
having dug out a load of stuff for that subject, we found there's a lot of mini albums we didn't talk about that we thought we should probably shine a spotlight on these as well, because they're well worth talking about.
Indeed.
So this is where we are, and again, after the Zappergate of the first section, I've only got a couple of these on CDs, and to be fair, one of them was only released on CD, so I'll get off on that one.
I think I have on my list, I have everything but one on vinyl.
That's we're on the same page.
I'm guessing it's the same one we don't have on vinyl, because you can't get it.
Yeah. Well, should we start with that one?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's start with that one, providing it is the same one. So, this is the Wild Hearts Fishing for Luckies. We're on the same page. Good boy. So, the backstory of this being, Wild Hearts did the first album, Earth Versus. They did an EP, Caffeine Bomb, which I probably should have talked about last. Did I talk about that last time?
No, I love the Caffeine Bomb song.
But that is awesome EP. They followed it up. At the time, we were just told, here you go, here's a new mini album, Fishing for Luckies. You had to get it from their fan club. I believe it was £6. I remember that because the fan club was in Wednesbury, which is just up the road from me. And I was, oh my God, the fan club's just up the road, that's amazing. But we got this, and it's 6 tracks, and it is absolutely astounding, because you've got long, lengthy songs like Inglorious, Sky Babies, which is 11 tracks, it is amazing. Do the Channel Bops, 8 minutes, Schizophonics, 8 minutes. And then there was a single released off this, a double A-side single. It was such a leap from the first album.
Yeah.
They just went on these long, complicated things, and they were still very... Ginger said at the time we were like a mixture of Cheap Trick and Metallica, which is absolutely bang on, you can't argue with that, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But they just went down so many avenues and rabbit holes on this album, and it was awesome. And what we later learned, years later, was the second album, Fuck, was supposed to be a double, and the record label wouldn't do it, so they took these 6 tracks off it, released it themselves, and Fuck came out as a condensed album, which he has since put right by being the original album as intended. For all intents and purposes, this was originally a mini album, and for me personally, absolutely astounding. I absolutely adore this thing. It was amazing at the time. It's still amazing to me now. What say you?
Yeah. To be honest, I was very late to the Wild Hearts. I kind of remember them coming out. I remember their first album. I remember the cover and stuff. And I think I kind of roughly remember them playing at the Donington that I went to. But I don't think I paid too much attention. And then I didn't really listen too much, but I do remember seeing the Kerrang review of Fishing for Luckies, gave it 5Ks, said it was one of the greatest things they'd done. And then obviously Fuck came out a little while later. And then there was all sort of weird controversies, wasn't it? Because then suddenly the label wanted to release it and add extra songs. I kind of remember Red Light, Blue Light coming out as a single, and Sick of Drugs and all that. And then I think they kind of started messing with it a little bit and messing with how it was originally put out. Because I think the version that I have on CD doesn't look like your one. I think I've got the one which has got like a weird fish on the front or something.
Yeah. Yes. So this is the original.
But I do love the songs. Like, I think I got into it later and was like blown away. That was the one I played the most, I think. And
it's a weird one because yes, it's a mini album, but it's a long one, and we've got a couple of other albums coming up after which are lengthy. But to all intents and purposes, only six tracks, so mini album. But yeah, what they did with this, you got Fishing for Luckies, and then the label. I can't remember which way around it was. The label then went and did what you've got. Where they got a new guitarist on board, and it had the songs off this with this absolutely fucking god-awful sleeve and some new singles which aren't very good, I'll be honest. I don't like those. And then there's some B-sides and things, and by that point the B-sides weren't great, so it's a massive collection of stuff. And then after that they re-released this with this sleeve called Fishing for More Luckies. So it's got the same sleeve but different tracks. So it's just weird when you're looking for this online. So many versions, you've got to land on the right one.
But they did a whole reissue campaign, didn't they? About 10 years ago, didn't they? Which is probably the one you got, the double CD.
No, this is the original.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Edition. Yeah. So this is just the 6 tracks. But yeah, you've got the double CD, Fishing for More Luckies. I mean, I kind of lost Wild Hearts after, because they did the Fishing for Luckies reissue with the fish sleeve as a proper album, which it was just a weird time. There's new members. And they disappeared for a bit. Then they came back with Endless Nameless, which is absolutely awesome. I'll talk about that another time. But then I kind of lost them for years and years.
Yeah.
Odd band, absolutely phenomenal band. One of the bands of the 90s for me. But and this is just incredible. Absolutely love this.
I like the fact that they tried not to get pigeonholed, because I think these ones, like, there's poppy as anything, but then there's huge riffs. And he said they take you on a journey, and for a band that their first album was just seen as a dirty rock and roll, catchy as anything, they're quite short songs, or 4-minute mark all the way through. So then he said do this EP, which is all lengthy stuff. It was they obviously they did what they want to. They put their own path, which is cool.
Where do you want to go next?
Should we do Guns N' Roses Lies?
Let's do Lies,
because that one was a huge one for me.
Which is one we kind of forgot about this one, didn't we?
A little bit, but when you mentioned it, like, yeah, it's true, because I can't quite remember in my mind how long Appetite for Destruction had been out when I finally got into it. My brother would probably be better, but it was definitely the end of the 80s. It'd only been out like a year or so, and I just remember just devouring that album so quickly to then find that Lies had come out, because I think the version I had was on cassette originally. And it came,
same here. And
it came with obviously the whole open up thing, which people were going on about because they had the naked lady inside. And there was also, came with the extra little slip which pulls out, which was advertising that you can still buy Appetite for Destruction and all that sort of stuff. So listening to it when I first put it on, it was so different to what I was used to, because I think Appetite for Destruction is possibly one of my favourite albums ever. I love the sound, I love the feel. Lies had such a different side to it, because obviously the first side is trying to be a live album, but it's not. And to be honest, at that point I didn't know who Aerosmith was really. I didn't know. I've never heard of Rose Tattoo.
No.
So putting it on and coming out with Reckless Life just sounded like, oh, is this a live album? Is it a bit of a demo? Because they put the fake audience noise underneath it, didn't they?
Yeah. But as a kid, I didn't know that. It's just a live. To me, it was a live EP and acoustic stuff. It's only in later years you go, we did this, we did that, and you think, you're kind of ruining it now.
No, but I love that song. Nice Boys. Like, I would have just thought it was one of their like lesser songs or whatever it was.
Early songs.
Yeah. Mama Kim. I loved Mama Kim. And Move to the City was one of my highlights on the album, on the whole thing.
Yeah. Great song.
Yeah, it was to me, I was so into Guns N' Roses for that to just have more by them just made me just absolutely love it. And then obviously the second side, Patience. What a song. I love Patience. Same with I liked was it Used to Love Her, because it was just a dumb song, but as a child, like, what was I, 8 or 9, I still thought it was just a brilliant track. Made me laugh, thought it was a bit stupid, a bit silly. I wasn't a huge fan of the version of Crazy, but because I kind of just was...
No, it's just...
I preferred the original. But I think people said that it was meant to be like this version, and they sped it up for Appetite for Destruction, I think. It was meant to be a slower song. And in my naivety, because I just didn't really see things how people see it now, 1 in a million, I never gave it too much thought to the words and stuff.
Well, we were kids. What did we know?
A little bit. I kind of knew it was a word that I didn't use, and I wasn't going to start using it. But at the time, I just didn't really give too much thought to it. But it was. I just remember just poring over the whole cassette the moment I got it. I think I even remember, I think I caused a little bit of a stir because I went to a school disco and I had a T-shirt with the front cover of Lies as my was my T-shirt.
Yeah.
So going into a school
Controversial.
disco. Yeah, when I was about 8, and it's got like Sex XX written across the front of it and stuff. I think my mum actually had some parents come around once because I used to keep playing Appetite for Destruction for kids in our street and other things, and telling us off that it was, lots of swearing. my mum...
He's the devil. He's the devil child.
Yeah, but... Cool, because it wasn't until years later that I realised that, as you said, it's live like a Suicide EP and then an acoustic one on the other side. I just saw it in my 8-year-old brain as a new album, wonderful. Yeah, so if it came out in 1988, I reckon me and my brother bought it in like 89, quite early on. So it was wonderful to try and get it on vinyl. I think I ended up getting this one off eBay a few years ago, and I play it quite a lot, to be honest. I've always really enjoyed it. It's
just fun, and it's over quite quickly, and at the time, you don't realise till hindsight, they were absolutely plundering appetite for singles. They were re-releasing so many singles off that album.
Yeah.
Because, suddenly something would be a big hit somewhere else, so they'd re-release it here. I think Sweet Child of Mine was reissued about 3 times.
Oh, okay.
With different sleeves. And all the B-sides were just album tracks, so you're just not getting anything new. So... eventually, I think it was just like, we've got to give them something else, so they just kind of cobbled this together. But it's a good thing. It's not crap. It's different. Predates Appetite, apart from some of the acoustic songs. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Well, yeah, and then some of the songs still lasted into their live set now. I remember seeing them in '91, and they were still playing "Move to the City," even though they had like a big brass section and stuff. And yeah, I've always really enjoyed it. I think people just read too much into stuff with it. So no, I loved it. It was a huge part of my childhood as well. So got no issues with that one at all. Which then obviously takes us, I think, into another one of both mine and yours. Like they Therapy. They released 2 mini albums at the beginning of their career.
They did. You're more of a fan of the former. I'm more a fan of the latter, I believe.
Which I think works well. So I've put them together because I think when they put out 2 very, very quick 6-track EPs. I think the songs on both of them they were playing pretty much since their first days. In some ways, you can almost say if you put them together, that was kind of their set lists when they started. And then they got made into a compilation, a full 12-inch 12-track compilation down the track for America. But I can never say the label. Is it Waji or Haji?
Now you see, I didn't realise for a long, long time it's actually the postcode.
What?
It's W111JA. I always pronounced it Ouija.
Yeah.
But the postcode I think was W111JA. I'm sure unless I've grossly misunderstood that and I'm making myself look a dick.
I'm going to say you are. Anyway, the 2 versions I've got are the Southern Records reissues, I'm guessing. But yeah, so basically, Therapy came out, basically, they did a 2-track single, which was the Meet Abstract single. And they then basically came straight out very quickly once they got signed with a 6-track album or mini album called Baby Teeth, which is pretty much the 2 tracks which they originally released, and then basically they recorded 4 new tracks. Oh no, it's a 7-track EP. I always thought it was 6. I don't know why. But yeah, 7 tracks. So they added an extra 5 tracks to it. For me, I love this one just so much because it's just them at their purest. No real, like, you can see their limitations. The drummer at Fife at the time is, in my opinion, the star. He was still singing at this point. The guitar lines are very, very simple, but they just kind of made these songs out of nowhere. I wouldn't even know how to write half the stuff on here. It was so just primal and unfiltered.
Oh, you're right. It is absolutely Fife show because it's very sort of industrial, sort of leaning, very influenced by Skinny Puppies and things like that. I think because once Andy got more and more into the songwriting process and writing thematic stuff, that's when they became more of a rock band. Yeah. These 2 albums are very close in style. And they've not done anything else in their catalogue like this. No,
the second one, Pleasure Death, is the one we're talking about, is a lot more produced, I think, a bit cleaner.
Yes. Because the first one's just feral.
Yeah, like, from Meet Abstract through, it's just hammers. Like, Animal Bones is just him screaming, you don't even know what about. But the first one, Meet Abstract, Skyward's my favourite song ever, Innocent X, finishing with Dancing with Manson. It just hammers from start to finish, and I absolutely love this one. But then you get into their second one, which I think both of them topped the indie album charts, or wherever it was when they came out. So they got noticed very, very quickly and got on to tours with Hole and Silver something. What were they called?
Silverfish, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Another good band.
And I think Jesus Lizard and some other people. But Skimming Pit on the next one just hammers out the gate.
I love that so much.
And
that bass line, And
I think the lyrics on the second one were so much darker as well, like Fantasy Bag. Prison Break is one of my favourite ever songs by them. I just love the feel of it. It's just slow and then just sort of builds up. And then obviously they've got their iconic Potato Junkie, which they've pretty much played to this day at every gig. And
it's just taken on a life of its own, hasn't it? In context of the album, it's just a brilliant album. It's going to be controversial. I'm a little bit bored of that song now, but they've been playing it for 36 years, so there you go. But first time I heard it, and then at the end of the song on the album, you've got that dialogue of it must be from a film or something, of the man talking to the little girl. That's weird.
Oh yeah,
but
they were still using their samples at this point, weren't they?
Yeah, there were a lot of samples. They took that into Nurse, and then I think it's kind of died a death now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think there was. I think there is a version of Crooked Timber where it has got some. I think the deluxe version they added samples in for a bit, and then I think they took them out because it wasn't working.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they tried. I think I could be wrong. I had the feeling there is a version with samples of Crooked Timber, but yeah, for that one for me, I think John Peel got obsessed by them, and then they ended up doing some Peel sessions, which is where I first started to hear some of their stuff, which is on that Music for Transistors compilation.
Yeah.
But no, it was huge. I said from there they got basically snapped up pretty quickly. Their trajectory went quite quick, really, from this one to Nurse to Troublegum. So it was a very short amount of time. About 4 years, and they were on top of the pops. So pretty good. All right. So yeah. So that was just a huge one for both me and you. I think the next two, which we're going to talk about, are very much of our alternative leanings, isn't it, really?
All these albums are around the same time. I'm just realising this now. But it's like we talked about before. Record labels would let people do an EP or a mini album to get them on, to get them started. And these are all sort of like 1990 to 1992, 1993.
Yeah, I think bleeding a little bit into the 80s, because Guns N' Roses was 88.
Let's do Pixies first.
Okay, so that was 80s, wasn't it?
Talking about Come On Pilgrim.
Yes, which is... Well, there was more tracks, wasn't there? Because some of it got split off to make the purple tape, and then they chose...
Yeah, it's a weird one, because Come On Pilgrim essentially is an 8-tracker. There's various things that have been released since, like the purple tapes, Complete Pixies and things like that. And then my first... Because I was very late to the Pixies. It was sort of like the early 2000s when I finally realised, these are a good band that everybody's been talking about. I completely bypassed. But... one of the first Pixies things I bought was Surfer Rosa, CD, and that's got Come On Pilgrim on it. I didn't realise this at the time. I just thought it was a really long. There's like 22 tracks on it or something. I didn't realise till after that Come On Pilgrim was its own standalone release, which is like the first 8 tracks on it or whatever. So it's hard for me to take that out of context, but I will, because I do have it separately now. Yeah, I think it's about 1988. I want to say, is that right? 87. 87 it was recorded. That's mental. Nearly 40 years old. Jesus. So I can't say for myself at the time, because I was a kid. I was elsewhere. But to have had this hoisted on you in 1987, 88, whenever it was, just out of the blue, must have just been absolutely mind-blowing, because there is nobody that sounds like this band. They're just completely on their own.
Songs in Spanish,
playing these weird. How did Frank put? Yeah, weird little acoustic things sung in mental Spanish and shouting. It's just crazy, and to have the balls to just go and this is what we do. Only true originals.
Well, yeah,
know.
and everyone had their place. The drummer was very much just keep the beat. You had very much rudimentary bass. It's root notes, and that's pretty much it. With like these sweet backing vocals occasionally coming in. On Come On Pilgrim, certainly was. I'm pretty sure he is just acoustic. It was acoustic guitar and the singing, and then you had
Joey Santiago did all the electric. But again, he wasn't he was kind of learning guitar as he went along, so that's why he's solo. Well, not solos are there, but all the melodies and things he's doing are just kind of learning as he's going, so that nothing fits a traditional sort of type.
It was the loud, quiet, loud, which they made famous for. Yeah. And they're just some classic songs on it. Like starting off with Caribou.
Again, what a way to introduce yourself to the world. It's just such a quiet, weird song, slow paced. Yeah, and then straight into Vamos, which is mental. Just screaming Spanish and that incessant rhythm.
And the Holiday Song, which is one of my favourite songs by them ever.
Weird. Yeah, awesome.
I'm trying to remember, what's the last song? Is that Levitate Me, or was that on the other one?
Levitate Me is the last song, yeah. You got to be yeah. And then Nimrod's Son, obviously, which is everybody alternative rock.
Yeah, with the mental lyrics about is it about a prostitute or something?
I feel like it's a biblical thing, or it's a Greek tragedy or something.
The whore with disease. I know. I just remember the whore with disease, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, you are the son of a motherfucker. All that. Oh, nobody was writing lyrics like that. They were just out of nowhere.
But then when you see them, they look like the most sweetest, innocent band. Like he's got his weird part in, and he's slowly losing his hair, just wearing a shirt, and almost looks like he's a Jehovah's Witness or something.
When you see them live at that point, he just looks utterly. He's kind of like, he can't sort of. It's got to get it out of him, kind of thing. And he looks utterly distracted the whole time. He's always looking up. Which, as a guitarist, I've never been able to look at anything but my fretboard. I just can't. It's like when I'm typing on the keyboard. I've been working in an office for fucking 35 years. I still can't look away from the keyboard when I'm typing. But yeah, people that look away from the guitar is just weird to me. And then Kim just stood there, just stock still.
Yeah.
Just strumming them bass lines. Everybody just kind of stock still, apart from Frank, who's a bit jittery, but he's just flanked by two people that just stood still. Not a smile between. Well, Kim smiles. But Frank, Joey, no smiles. Dave doesn't smile. It's just concentration. They were an awesome band.
The worst hairlines in rock.
Oh, God, yeah. Like you say, he's balding. He was a young lad. To have such bad hair at that age.
I think I've got the Death by the Pixies DVD, or one of their DVDs, but I think it's got the Town and Country Club in London. That one's great.
Yeah, I've got that.
He's just sort of swinging his guitar.
Yeah. And every song stops, another one starts. Just incessant.
An introduction,
brilliant.
and then to come back in a few years, or probably only like a year later, with Surfer Rosa, with just the huge soundingness of Albini's production. Like they pretty much just took over. But yeah, at the time, they sounded like no one else. Like you had all your REMs and the Husker Do's, and they just came out with just this. I don't know, just vision. Like he's got a vision for where he's going, and you can't doubt him. Like I'm sure as a band member, he's coming in with these songs, just going, "Oh, okay, I'll go with this."
They're just weird stories from the Bible and from folklore and weird little towns in America, and they were just in their own little universe, weren't they? And everybody was just fascinated, but also, in awe. What is this?
Yeah, and it's so influential. So. I think it's the thing sometimes with these mini albums, you just need that little introduction, and then it can then just a
little chunk, because it could have been any other song off Surfer. They could have made another 8 because they had a whole batch of songs initially. They just picked that 8 for that. They could have picked another 8 or interchanged a couple, but as an introduction, it was absolutely amazing. Got creaking the door open and go, what's in here? Oh my God, it's mental people with bad hairlines. Close it.
No, but it was, I think, along with like some of the Trompe le Monde, Come On Pilgrim, I just devoured at the time. I just couldn't stop playing it. When I first sort of discovered, I was a bit like you though, because I had it on a standalone CD with Surfer Rosa, so I kind of didn't realise until later that it was a separate thing. And I prefer it being separated.
And when you do that, yeah, I was just going to say that. When you realise there is two separate... It's like, it's not just a bunch of songs. There's two separate statements here. And although they can be interchangeable, as 2 separate releases, they make a lot more sense.
And then finally, we'll go into one which we've touched on before. We're huge fans, and as much as like the A side, if you would call it, was Copper Blue by Sugar, they also came out with Beaster. Yeah,
like Easter, but Beaster.
Only like probably about a year later, if that.
It was. From what I gather, they were all recorded at the same time, and I don't know whether his intention was to put it all on one release, or they just kept these darker ones back, and it came out separately. Yes,
I think they were all recorded at the same time. I said I don't quite know what his idea was, but I think he kind of chose the more digestible ones and went, right, we'll just do a concise album for Copper Blue, and we'll do the slightly off-the-wall ones as this. And we both said the same thing. We find it very hard to separate the 2 releases because the quality is just amazing. Do you know what, as much as I love Copper Blue, and it's one of my favourite albums of the 90s, there's just something about Beaster that just blows me away. It's so much darker, and it's the filthier side of Copper Blue. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got these sickly sweet changes and stuff, and then to suddenly have like JC Auto and Tilted just goes mental.
Oh, Tilted is amazing. Tilted and JC Auto it was released as a 7-inch, and as a double A side, it's fucking perfect. It's amazing. But you've got come around, which is kind of a slow burner. It's almost shoegazy, I guess. And then Walking Away, the last track, is very much it's kind of it's slow sort of keyboard, goodbye sort of thing, isn't it? It's like a lament. So the 4 songs that sandwich it, if those, if that's the bread, the meat in the middle is these 4 songs, and there's some mental stuff in there. It's really crunchy, really heavy in places, shouty.
But then this is it, though. As much like we both absolutely love Bob, love Sugar. No offence to File Under Easy Listening and what they currently do now. If this had been their full career, he'd done Copper Blue, which basically changed alternative rock at the time.
Created alternative rock for the 90s. It was a template.
Yeah, and then did this Beaster and just went, we're done, and tapped out. It would have been one of the greatest little careers ever, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just went, all right, I'm just going to put this here, destroy everyone who's around, put out these amazing songs, and
then go away again.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that was the only problem I have with File Under Easy Listening. Like, I do want to get it on vinyl. It's just one of those ones that I put it on and I go, oh yeah, the first 4-5 songs, great, and then it just tails off.
It really does. It's a shame because they're by no means are they bad songs, but the 2 albums before, this Beaster and Copper Blue are absolutely stone cold classics. It was always going to be difficult to live up to those. So if Sugar had come along and just made one album and it was File Under Easy Listening, it'd be brilliant. We'd love it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hit us the same way as the 2 before it, but it'd be a great album. If you talk about 90s albums, you could say to them, have you heard this album by a band called Sugar? It'd be great, but because you got those 2, it just easily pales into insignificance.
No, and to basically follow up Copper Blue with Beaster as well, like, I think they had really good publicity at that point. They were everywhere, they were doing all the festivals, they were doing all the right shows and stuff. Having that little extra, just 6-song, like a mini album, not pushing it too much that you've got to learn too much, just go, right, this is a continuation of what we've had. It was genius marketing and like forward thinking, not trying to just follow up really quickly with another album, just go, all right, here's 6 more songs, see what you think of this. And like it was just a perfect idea, and I think that's why the mini album does actually work really well with this. Sometimes you don't need.
Yeah, it's weird because the ones we've talked about previous to this, these are all albums that are you start a career with a mid album, then you get the budget to album. But this is the other way around.
Yeah, little bit. It's kind of a little. It's just keeping the momentum going, which was the same as Guns N' Roses Live, wasn't it? Exactly what you were saying. They just had that thing going. Wow, they're planning a double album. It's gonna take a little while. We'll just push this one out now. Might give us an extra 2 years space before people are going to be going, what's going on? Because in those days, people weren't taking 10 years to do an album. No one was that forgiving. People will forget you.
Shocking when you think about it now, isn't it? The amount of how long it takes bands now compared to, and that's because everything's been done. So there's no originality now, and it's weird.
But yeah, no. So these we really talked about 5, potentially 6, but they were just essential parts of it. Like Therapy used theirs to basically launch themselves, and then they got signed and went off. Sugar used it to basically carry on your momentum. Same with Guns N' Roses. The Pixies just came out with this short little statement,
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, basically. Yeah. I don't know I don't know if there was a single before, if it was just "Here's Come on Pilgrim." We went, what the hell? And then the Wild Hearts, as you were saying, they were obviously still trying to keep up the momentum. They had their fans; they were very loyal to it, but they also wanted to stretch their legs a bit more. And they probably thought, well, the record company's not going to want to do this. We're going to put it out. But then the record company suddenly went, oh fuck, we've underestimated that their fans want this, and then it all got a bit weird and messy. So they're just great. They're something that I think more, as we were saying about EPs, aren't I don't think mini albums much. I'm trying to think rack my brains. I think the last mini album I remember was The Cure. The Coral did one, I think, in between some albums. It wasn't a massive one. It wasn't an influential one. It was just a bit of a weird one, but it's kind of lost, I think, the mini album.
I think so, because especially with streaming now, because people just drop songs,
Yeah.
You just get a new song occasionally, and a lot of these rock bands will just release a new song every few months or whatever, and they might put out an album sometimes, or compile it into a compilation or something like that. But the music world's been the record industry has been turned on its head since sort of 2000, doesn't it? So everything's kind of. A lot of people don't do things for nostalgia, People only put vinyl albums out because it's what, I had vinyl albums when I was a kid. I want to put a vinyl record out. As a musician, I was a pretend musician for a while. I didn't. My thing was always, I want to put out a 7-inch. And I could go out and press these things up myself and do it. But my thing was, I want to get on and sign to a record label and put out a 7-inch because that's a physical, real thing to me. But in this day and age, it's not a thing. That's kind of a nostalgia idea I had. But I had, we just wank CDs out or put free downloads out because that's the times we're in. It's just a shame that this physical thing, these teasers, these releases, the artwork, all that kind of thing, it's just kind of a dead thing.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. We've had a resurgence in vinyl. We might have a resurgence in other things. So
I will talk about one more. I think this deserves a special mention. This is Wedding Present did a mini album in 1996, and it's actually about a Mini, the car, the Mini. The sleeve, yeah. So the sleeve is the Mini. Yeah, there's 5 tracks on it. They're all about cars. And I'm just going through the sleeve, and I'm finding that there is actually a competition to win the Mini Countryman Mark II that's on the sleeve. I'll pick this up years later in a charity shop, so obviously I missed that. Otherwise I could have a nice new Mini sat on my drive. But that was cool.
Wonderful. Well, there you go. That has been our feature mini albums, and we'll try and think of something new for the next one. Okay, let's go to the end waffle. It's the last bit of the podcast. It's the last part of the show. It's the last bit of our podcast before we have to go. Okay, and welcome back to the end waffle. Let's see what new things are coming out. I am incredibly excited because finally, after much talking about it, Social Distortion have announced their new album, Born to Kill, coming out in May 26 on Epitaph Records. The new single is out, and I absolutely fucking love it, and I've played it many, many, many times. It made me very, very excited for it. It's everything I wanted out of a Social Distortion song. Yeah, can't wait. There's many different variations, which the only annoying thing is they're very, very expensive, but I managed to find a variant through a UK distribution company called Devil Dog Distribution. I think they're an online company, but they can actually get like some coloured vinyl and some different ones for about 30 quid. If you go looking on the Epitaph Records website, they're looking at about £44 for the album, which
It's a lot, in it.
yeah, like they've got some really cool ones, which are all the main cover's got a leopard or a cheetah on the front of it, so they're kind of cheetah print vinyl, so it looks pretty cool. They've got like a couple of different splatter ones, a couple of different picture discs and stuff. But I was just like, this one's two different coloured vinyls for it, and I was like, I'm more than happy with that. I can't justify that much for this album. As much as I'm excited about it, I wasn't going to pay that. So that one I'm really, really happy about, and if this new song's anything to go by, I'm looking forward to the concert. I'm going to see them, because the album will come out just before I go and see them in June. There's even like a little 8-minute documentary about the album and the lead up to it, about his cancer and him fighting it and all this sort of stuff. It was really kind of cool little doco, so I saw that. Also out on Epitaph Records, the Bobby Lees, who I really enjoyed their last album.
The Bobby Lees. I do have that, actually. I enjoyed it at the time. It's kind of... I quite quickly forgot about it, I think.
Yeah, well, they got a new one out. They've gone from Epicac to Epitaph, and it's called The New South, out 15th of June. I've heard 2 singles. I'm not sure about them, so this one I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do about at the moment. They've kind of... I think she's kind of got a side project which is a bit more hip-hop, and I feel like there's some of those elements have sort of bled into their normal primal punk, so it's not quite...
I feel like she's an actress as well.
Yeah, she was. She was an actress.
Like an indie actress.
I think she's been in some major films a long time ago, but yeah, okay. She does more that sort of stuff. So that one hasn't really... I'm interested. I'm going to see what it's like. So that one might be buying it when it comes out and see if I enjoy it or not.
Yeah, I will try that, because I did enjoy that album. But like I said, I can't really remember it.
On the list here, you've put down one?
I have. McCluskey, who... it was probably my album of the year last year.
It was, I think.
Because they've been gone away for... yeah, I think it was. They've been away for like over about 25 years. Yeah. They came back with an absolute banger. Absolutely love that. And now they've announced a new mini-album. We should talk about mini-albums. It's a good subject. And it's called I Sure Am Getting Sick of This Bowling Alley. It's worth buying just for that.
Cool.
So it's 6 tracks. I feel like they were probably recorded at the same time
more than likely
as the album. Maybe a couple more in the meantime, I don't know. Vinyl's coming out in May, but you can stream it from 20th of March, which is about when this episode will be available. So you might be able to get it now.
Oh, okay, cool. So have they not released anything from it yet?
They did a couple of songs on Spotify.
Okay.
I've not listened to them yet. I've got to be honest. I've not listened to them. I've not got around to it. But it's McCluskey. If you're into Falco and Future of the Left and McCluskey generally, they're going to be great. He rarely just bad.
Okay, well, I'm guessing as it's on Epicac, there'll be a few different variants and stuff, and there'll be an indie version and God knows what else like they normally do.
I would have thought so. I mean, generally Epicac do all sorts of things.
They normally have a couple of web store exclusives if you go through Townsend Music and their own one, and then there's normally the indie one. So no, it'll be interesting to hear one. I really did enjoy the last one. It was you introduced me to them, and yeah, if it's any as good as the last thing, I'll enjoy it. I
think their reunion took off way better than they expected. I don't think they expected the reaction to the album that they got. Cause it did. I think it did quite for this genre of music. I think it did well, and it was on a lot of people's lists for the year. And they're just out there, and they're doing a lot of shows, and it's really taken off again. So yeah, here we go. Here's something else, and they're still touring. So all good. All good.
Cool. I've got 2 more things to talk about. Sepultura have announced their final EP, which I can't quite remember what it's called now, but we both had the same reaction. Like, we both think that their last album, Isolation, was absolutely brilliant end to their career. They've decided to do this final EP because they've had Grayson, I can't remember what his last name is, on drums, who stepped in last minute, and they wanted to sort of do something with him. And the first song from the EP they've released hasn't exactly got me excited for it. It seems quite meandering and...
yeah, I mean, I'm going to be less polite and say it was fucking terrible.
No, that's fair enough. Like,
it kind of picked up towards the end, but it's about 3 minutes of what's going on? What's this? What is it? It's terrible. I was like, like you said, the last thing I heard was like, oh my God, I didn't expect that last album to be so good because I've not listened to it for a long time. Yeah. So when the new song, I was like, oh great, because the last album was great, and I put it on, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You sure this is Sepultura?
He's such a talented drummer. Like, he just seems quite reserved on this. So, and it will be the last song on the EP, which is even worse because I can probably sometimes forgive it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can sometimes forgive it if it's like the second track and then you just got an absolute bombardment of riffs and speed and everything they're known for just to finish off. But so I'm unsure. I think there's loads of different variations. It actually comes, if you buy the vinyl, you get the CD with it as well. I was seeing reasonable price, about 20 quid. I think it's one that I'm going to wait and see. I'm a huge Sepultura fan. Love them to death. I've not enjoyed too much of their period. There was a little beginning bit with Derek that I wasn't so sure of, but the last 4 or 5 albums have been great. So it'd be a shame for them to do a misstep just right at the end and release a tepid final blast.
Limping away. I will wait and listen to the EP because I want to make sure that they're just not going out on a whimper. Yeah. And there's some other good stuff on it because that, you know, I can't imagine that there's a whole EP like that. I'll be astounded if it is.
So yeah, we'll wait and see about that one. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, which only got announced the other day, was Devin Townsend once again has a new album out called The Moth, coming out the 29th of May. Now,
The Moth.
Now, Devin Townsend, back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
He was in the Wild Arts as well.
He was, very briefly, yeah.
He was, yeah, very briefly.
Strapping young lad.
Continue.
Absolutely fucking nuts. Love them. Saw them support Arch Enemy, I think, once, and I saw him at Download. And he had his skullet. He was just mental. Some with like some dreadlocks at the back, bald on front, just screaming. What's his name? Gene Hoglan on drums. Something I never heard in my life. Just crazy, crazy songs, crazy speed. I thought he was an absolute genius of that genre. And then he did the Devin Townsend project. Devin Townsend band around the same time. And those first few albums of his showed that he could do melodic stuff, really, really cool writing, huge choruses. It was so good. And then he did a few other sort of solo things around there, and I thought they were great. But then he's come down to the same problem, I think, the fucking Chili's, Green Day, and loads of these bands, that he thinks that everything he puts out is absolutely gold and is this most prolific genius out there.
He thinks everybody wants to. He thinks more is more.
Yeah, every idea he has is the greatest thing he's ever done, and he's got to do it. And I know he's manic depressive, and in his manic stages, his output is incredible, but there's just no quality control. He got to the point that every time he put out an album, I'd listen to it and just kind of go, "That's a good song," and then the rest of it is just similar-ish, and I don't know. I just got fucking bored by him, and he's now done this other one, which is everything's got to be more grandiose. I'd rather he just write a nice, concise album of just quality riffs and songs and
cut the shit out.
Yeah, now
take the best bits and make one album, 40, 50 minutes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Every handful of years, not every 5 minutes, and not a million songs at once.
Yeah, like I didn't need a second album from his Puppet project he did, whatever that was. Some Ziltoid, he did two albums of them. I didn't need to. The first one wasn't that great, and then Epicenter. Like he does one really good song on it, and then it just gets dragged out. And then he's done, I don't know. This one here has got him with, is it orchestras and choirs, and I don't know. I kind of want him. Some days I just think, can you try going back on the drugs? And
why did you quit again?
I don't know.
Selfish.
Yeah, I don't know. He frustrates me now, and I no longer want to get into it, which is bad. And I feel, because me and my wife met him once in Sydney because we went to like some sign-in, and it got quite awkward because I think he was trying to be funny and steal my wife's sunglasses and stuff like that. but she didn't know who he was. She didn't realise she was meeting Devin Townsend. We sort of walked up, and the first thing he did was steal her glasses. And being a fiery Aussie, I think she called him and was going to hit him. And then realised...
No, don't show me up in front of the rock stars.
And then realised who he was. And then he finally gave back his glasses. And then we saw him live, and yeah, it was just a bit too much. And he's just like, you can't just release an album. I must do 4 albums. And they've all got different concepts. And
it's Frank Zappa again.
He is a genius to an extent, but I think he just needs pulling back sometimes. Not everything is gold.
I think most geniuses are flawed, aren't they? That's the payoff.
Yeah. So, but that's it. So yeah, I saw it, and I just went, oh God, not more.
Take your glasses off, start rubbing your forehead.
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
Oh God,
it was. I wasn't excited. I used to be excited by some of this stuff, but this one was literally. What? Yeah. Oh, double album. Oh God.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
Most bands you like go, oh, so and so's got a new album.
Yeah.
This is just giving you a headache.
It has.
I haven't even heard it.
No, and I've got no interest. Oh God, you've done more.
It's almost like bad news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh God, have you seen the paper? No, what? You know Devin Townsend? Oh God, what?
Doing a double album. Oh no.
Called the Moth. Oh,
shoot me now.
Kill me now.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I think that's all we got time for and all we got to talk about. So,
yeah, man.
Thank you very much for listening to me have a small breakdown over Devin Townsend, and we'll see you soon.
Now we've depressed you to death by mentioning Devin Townsend's got a new album out.
Yeah.
Oh, God. We started off bright, and now we've rolled down the hill, and it's like, oh God, you've reminded me now. Now I'm depressed.
Yeah, there's going to be variants and everything. Okay, well, that's it. Ta-ta from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.
You heard it online, and you think there's no rival. You want it for your collection, but have you heard it on vinyl?